Hey guys, it's Bizarre Individual, and today is officially the fifth day of the 25 days of manga slash anime, and today is a special prompt day. Every the 5th, the 10th, the 20th, and the 25th is like a special prompt day on the bingo board on the 25 days of manga, and today everyone's going to be doing the same thing, and that is your top 5 favorite mangas. So, with that said, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 mangas I'd like to talk about because I'm extra and I couldn't decide. So, I left out anything out of print. So, I left out anything that I didn't complete except for one title, which it's not completed in English. But everything in my pile is is in print except for one, but you can get it in a different edition. So, anyways, with that said, let's just get started. And if all you know, my one of my favorite mangas is Akara Under the Bridge, and I can't find it. I had it out somewhere, and I don't know where it's at. So I need to locate that. But other than that, I have everything here. So this was a buddy read from Lindsay Tutt and me. Read this in a buddy read, the Vonage Hotel. This is one of my new favorites. I would definitely be. I try to reread my favorite mangas like every single year. And I do have a couple more, like I said, that are out of print, but these are the ones that I want to reread every single year from now on, just because I enjoy them so freaking much. But yeah. So, anyways, this is the Vonage Hotel. It is a wacky, kind of creepy, it's like it's definitely a comedy, but it's like one of those like wacky, creepy, spooky comedies. It definitely has American Horror Story vibes of Hotel if you've seen the fifth season of American Horror Story. And yeah, let me just read the back. After a series of horrific events, Tazu decides to take a break with his past and go on a vacation to a tiny island native of Bolufiku. Little does he know that this hotel is a hotspot for contract killers, drug dealers, ghosts, and a coven of immortal witches. So much for rest and relaxation. Forgot those witches in this one. I could have read it for the manga freakathon that I did because I needed to find a witch. Anyways, but yeah, I absolutely enjoyed this one. I highly recommend it. It's 3 volumes. It's by 7 Seas, and yeah, just go check it out. It's really short. I do wish that it continued, but it did end in a really good spot. It's just hilarious. Next up is 10 Count. I do have a lot of BL titles, only 3, but for 8 different series. In the stack, I do next year want to have a section like the top 5 Yuri or BL or LGBTQ plus top 5, but I decided that I didn't have quite enough. I didn't read quite enough yet to make its own things. Like, I do enjoy other titles in the series I'm mentioning, obviously, but not enough to be in my favorites, if that makes sense. But anyways, 10 Count, I did talk about this a lot. I absolutely loved 10 Count. A lot of people have issues with it, but it kind of, I kind of liked it because you knew that the guy that, like, the issue that people have, you knew that he was an asshole, so not that it makes it okay, but since you know he's an asshole, then it's not like I didn't have a problem with it like some people do. And it kind of just reminded me of my life because I've been in those situations before. So yeah, 10 Count, I highly recommend it. Absolutely love it. The art is really good. It's 6 volumes long. It's by Sublime. And yeah. Next up, another one by Sublime, and I think I started this one in 2018 and continued in 2019. It's a 3-volume series, so quite short, escape journey, and it is fantastic. It's about these two guys that were kind of lovers in high school, and they kind of split up and in a not so good way, and they try to be friends in college. And that's all I'm gonna say. But I highly enjoyed this, and once again, there's something in here that people have problems with, but it doesn't bother me because once again I related to it, and it's not a big deal of what happened in my life, if that makes sense. But anyway, just go read it. I highly recommend it, and yeah. Next up, this was just so charming and sweet and innocent, and I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend My Brother's Husband. It is a 2 omnibus series, and it completes in 4 volumes, 2 in each, and it is pretty much about his twin brother dies, and they kind of had a falling out, not because he's homophobic, he just doesn't understand. So sometimes, like, I can completely get that stuff that I don't understand, not necessarily that issue, but just stuff that I don't understand in life, I kind of push away. And so he just kind of did that just because he didn't really understand his brother's sexual preference. And so then they had a kind of a falling out, and he moved away, and he moved to Canada and married this guy right here, and his twin brother actually died, and so his twin brother, I wish I knew people's names, his twin brother, husband right here, wants to go visit, like, his family and see where his beloved that passed, grew up and stuff. So, yeah, so it was, this is just fantastic, and it's about this little girl, who just lives with her dad, and how innocent she is, and how she sees the world through whether you're nice or not. Like, that's all she cares about. She doesn't care about, you know, sexuality, about race, about, you know, anything. So, I mean, I recommend this to anyone. Like, it's just really, really sweet and touching, and I loved it. Next up, no surprise, Princess Jellyfish. Um, like I said, I said that I was only going to put things that I finished the manga for, but I finished the anime for, but I wasn't going to count those. But I had to count this because what I read of this was just fantastic. I absolutely love this group of characters. It's about this chick right here and these women back here, and they're all otakus. They all are obsessed with different things, and I don't really have to talk much about this series. Everyone is reading it, but it is just fantastic, and it's just, they're all just so socially awkward, and they just have to interact with like, people in the real world, and they don't want to, and they're kind of forced into it throughout the events of this manga, and I can't wait to finish it. I already know it's going to be on my favorites, so that's why I put it on my favorites, but yeah. Okay, next up, let's save. So all of these are in no order at all except for one. I do have an ultimate favorite, and everyone already knows it, but one more until we get there. X by Clamp. Everyone knows my obsession with Clamp. As you can see, this whole entire shelf, it goes all the way down to the ground, is pretty much all of Clamp's works, and all the Clamp animes on top, and then just going down. I am missing a few, unfortunately, and yeah, but hopefully my goal is to fill that in 2020. But anyways, let's get back to X. I loved this anime, so I had to go out and read the manga. Absolutely loved it. I would recommend this to anyone. This is actually quite a good one. I don't know why more people aren't reading this, but it's definitely one for people that are, say, I want to try out a shoujo, but I'm into killing and murder and all this stuff. Like if you like action and this is would it'd be like high fantasy, I guess. It's definitely fantasy-ish. It's pretty much two different sides battling it out. One's wanting to save the Earth, one's wanting to destroy the Earth. It's just fantastic. There's a lot of supernatural stuff. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of murder. There's a lot of killing. There's a lot of characters. It's super psychological, which I know that's not like advertised as super psychological, but if you've read it, you know it's like it messed with my mind. It was like I thought one side was good, and then turns out that both sides are good because they both have good ideas, and then they both have bad ideas, and you just don't even know anymore. And then some of your favorite characters on this side, some of your favorite characters on that side. Anyways, I could go on forever. Just go read X. It's 6 omnibuses long. It's actually not finished. This is what I was talking about. It's not finished in English. Pretty much what happened was, to my understanding, is that Clamp was writing for a magazine, and the magazine actually has rights of Clamp or X, the manga, so they couldn't finish it because they don't no longer work for that magazine, but they still have rights, and I guess they couldn't buy them back or something like that. But anyways, so that's why they could never finish it, but it is finished in the anime, and I highly recommend the anime. It's one of my favorites, so love it. So no surprise, my favorite manga of all time, and I'm going to reread this, and I know I'm going to talk about it in the 12 days of anime, or 25 days of manga if they redo this next year in 2020, but it's going to be called Captain Sakura. Shamefully I haven't read Clear Card yet, but I absolutely love this. I grew up watching the cartoon as as X, so a lot of these are definitely anime started first, and then I went and read the manga. But the characters in here, in the manga are just so, they have so much character development. It's insane. I love the interactions in between the characters. It's just so crazy and just so amazing, and some of my favorite scenes happen in here, and that's for a different day. But if you haven't heard about Captain Sakura, I highly recommend it. It does have a lot of fluff in it, but if you get past the fluff, it's just fantastic. It's just so much character driven, and I love it. And the collector's editions are coming out, so those are still in print. This is actually out of print, unfortunately, and it was really hard to track down, and of course I waited until last minute. I'm like, oh, I can get it anytime. But anyways, we're not here to discuss that, but yeah. So my top 8 favorite and The Car Under the Bridge, and all of these I highly recommend any of them. I guess I could have said who I recommend them to, but I guess everyone. I highly recommend everyone read these except for these two. If you get grossed out by guy and guy sex, then don't read these two. But anyways, other than that, I highly recommend all of them for anyone, and yeah. Happy 5th day. I'm going to be posting this on Instagram and Twitter, so if you want to go chat more about everything, go hit me up over there. And yeah, anyways, I had actually a lot of fun today, so yeah, I'm going to end it there.